Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. I can't believe it's Tuesday already. Last week I was enjoying myself in the Bahamas. It was the most amazing time that I had over there. And it was quite interesting. During our vacation, we met a anesthesiologist who was an avid Bikram fan. And as we got talking, I was able to give him a little bit of coaching on the yoga because he let me know that for 5 years he's been going. He said he's always a beginner. Nothing ever improves because there's not enough coaching or adjustments being made in the way they teach because they do the same sequence over and over again. And after 5 years, he laughed and said, I'm quite proud of myself because I keep going after 5 years. And everybody asks if I'm a beginner when I should be more flexible, more strong. But with 2 laminectomies in his lumbar spine, he was quite tight in his pelvic structures, his lumbar fascia, and everything else. But more importantly, nobody really taught him how to connect his mind to the body. And I can tell, as smart as he was connecting those dots that really got him to think about, oh my goodness, I've been doing it all wrong. But that's how our bodies work. We're so habituated, right? Habituated in doing the thing because that's what we've always done. And we don't really question the underlying belief. He sincerely believed Bikram yoga was healing, when in fact, it can be creating more damage than good if you're not bringing awareness and self-learning skills to tap into your own body and really enjoy the journey, because it's not about external validation or getting into a certain pose. More, it's about the journey of how you are being in a specific pose. How are you showing up, right? That's more important than the pose itself, right? It's not always the destination. We never really reach the destination in life. And so that's something that I want to talk to you about today. How do you bridge the gap between functional medicine and yoga? And how do we do that within the realm of functional yoga medicine certifications that we offer through our program? So as you guys know, I went through the Institute of Functional Medicine. It was a long, windy process, and it took me probably about 8 years to complete, start from finish, to learn all about the Institute of Functional Medicine and become fully board certified through the Institute of Functional Medicine. To me, it was the highest standard of education that I was willing to put forth the time and the effort and the money to learn and get certified in. And I have no regrets about it, but I will tell you, I had higher hopes because in retrospect, I think a lot about what the things that I learned and how it's applicable. Just like anything, because I've been in school for so long, we are taught a certain way. We're taught on exactly how to conduct ourselves when we are treating our patients. But that's the premise that I want to argue against and challenge, is why I set up and created the functional yoga medicine. Because what I found is that a lot of the practitioners are busy treating, being technicians in the field. I don't care if it's acupuncture, holistic medicine, or even integrative nutrition, integrative medicine, functional medicine, chiropractic, whatever the case might be, we're busy being technicians. We do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. As a patient of autoimmunity for over 20 years, I can tell you, there is no one size fits all. There is no 2 patients that are the same. And I've also have a doctorate degree in physical therapy. And I can tell you a lot of the structures in the human anatomy changes, right? It's not really about the structures per se. It's about the adaptive habitual patterns, neurological patterns that govern how we move. So movement is very important. That's why yoga is really a movement to quiet the mind so that the mind can settle down in the body long enough to have silence, complete silence for meditation, is why yoga came about. Same thing with Qigong and Tai Chi. It's all about silencing the mind and moving all the kinks and metabolic wastes out of the body so we feel completely sound and silent enough to take a seat, for our souls to take a seat in our body. But guess what? Nobody teaches us how our bodies are designed to function, right? I'm learning more and more about the new field of psychoneuroimmunology, where we talk a lot about the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, collectively the autonomic nervous system. What we're learning is that while there is fight or flight in the sympathetic nervous system and then common zen in the parasympathetic, there's also a freeze option. When we go through certain traumas in our lives, we were not able to metabolize sort of the trauma that happened to us, so it resides in our body. And that chemical pull kind of creates this reactiveness to trigger a certain response when similar conditions are met in our daily lives. It locks us up into this highly stressful situation. And so knowing that, if we don't teach our practitioners how to allow our clients to move through being stuck in that sympathetic or highly stressful patterns in the autonomic nervous system, how can we do anything and call ourselves holistic practitioners? I don't care if you're a yoga teacher, Qigong teacher, Pilates instructor, fitness instructors, functional medical doctors, whatever the case may be, you really have to bring lifestyle solutions to teach our patients how to really, really connect their mind to their body. The ultimate gift we can give them is mind-body mastery. So functional medicine, by definition, is all about getting to the root cause of your disease and taking an individualistic approach to natural healing, utilizing all the things, east to the west, yin to the yang, whatever makes sense for the patient. There's a certain way that we look at the systems-based approach that we're taught a certain way. But my personal experience as I became IFMCP, which is Institute of Functional Medicine Certified Practitioner, was one that was overly focused on science and theoretical understanding versus truly living the solution. Because as an autoimmune patient, I have to contend with all the thoughts and feelings that come with living with an autoimmune condition. I also have traumatic pasts. And sometimes my autonomic nervous system gets stuck in that cycle of suffering. And it's almost like my mind doesn't know any better than to get stuck in that suffering cycle. And unless I'm taught how to move beyond and move through to metabolize this stuck response, I'll never fully absorb the vastness and the healing that's available to me. So when teaching patients to be dependent on a practitioner, because that's what we do, and that's how we make the money. We want sick patients so that we can have a practice, right? I believe that is doing a disservice to our patients, is why I changed the model and utilizing the alkaline method. And that's what I teach in my program in our functional yoga medicine certification, right? Because the ultimate goal should be to allow our patients and clients to master their own body and mind. Not only that, I wanted the practitioners to experience the healing impacts that's available to them first and foremost, not try to heal the patients from their brain, especially their left analytical brain, because there's a lot of feelings, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of unspoken things that your patients are contending with. And I kid you not, during my training program, it was touched upon, but we never really went deep within it. We were basically drinking out of a fire hose all the information, all the theoretical understandings, right? So what does it really mean to master your own body and mind? And why is that so important? Well, it means we learn how our body systems work, not be trained as the practitioners to figure it out for our patients. Because what I've learned is that every single patient or patients or clients have their own experience of life, their patterns, conditioning, trauma, and tendencies that they bring to their own lives. And when we focus on the root cause, we must understand our patients as much more than the systems-based approach, like we're taught in the Institute of Functional Medicine. The root cause is much more than theory, right? The root cause is an unhealthy relationship that's perpetuated. It's dysregulated automatic nervous system that causes dysbiosis and digestive issues, stress response from our past traumas, the reactiveness, and then the habitual cycles, and ongoing system failure that perpetuates the disease. And unless this is addressed, nothing will alter the patient's prognosis long term. At best, most practitioners are guessing about what to do with their patients, right? And this is where I really want many practitioners like you, like me, to come forward and really talk about what's really not being addressed. We can't put blinders on and focus on what we know and what our expertise is. Because you guys, healing is an inside job taken from somebody who's been really sick. It doesn't matter what great doctor you are telling me exactly what I need, unless I step into my own power and decide to help myself as a patient, nothing happens. And this is why I created the Functional Yoga Medicine Certification Practitioner Program. More than theoretical understanding, I wanted practitioners to understand their role in healthcare. You're not a technician. You're not the expert. You're not the healers, right? You're the powerful mentor to get your patients in their body. Start to really teach them how to gain mind-body mastery. And too many of you guys are practicing what you've learned in various programs. But we all know that conventional methods of us treating patients don't work long term. We must empower our patients to heal themselves. This means giving them the tools to regulate their nervous system through the practice of yoga and the breathing, which affects their enteric nervous system stress response, which ultimately affects the inflammation in their body and calms the dysregulated autonomic nervous system back down to baseline. The whole system needs to consider the psychoneuroimmunology in its entirety, not in parts. Not just understand the theoretical basis, but to provide the living solutions. Ultimately, teaching our patients to tap into their own body's signals, gaining mastery over their own body and mind, because healing, it really is an inside job, you guys. So at Functional Yoga Medicine Certification Program, we bridge the gap between functional medicine, which has 3 pillars within the alkaline method framework, which is number 1, HPA, stress brain response. Second is gut, enteric nervous system, and brain response. And then third is psychoneuroimmunology, the immune brain response. Because how we modulate our nervous system is learned through the practice of yoga. And yoga, by definition, the way we define it in our FYMCP program, is your opportunity for growth and abundance. It's the ultimate connecting tool to the breath through movement, through a series of poses that allows one to tune inward to really connect the body to the mind. Yoga, remember, is a state of being. It's not the doing. The poses don't matter. It's about the being. It's about the journey. It's an opportunity for growth and abundance, enhancing our relationship to ourselves and understanding ourselves first and foremost. Science coming together with timeless wisdom of yoga, tapping into the energy, the meditation, the breath, and the silence to raise awareness and consciousness allows our body and mind to expand beyond all possibilities. You become truly powerful healing mentor versus a health technician that we've been taught to be. That's what we stand for, and that's how we bridge the gap by giving clinicians and patients the necessary tools to read into our bodies and tune inward for the ultimate healing experience. Because healing is a journey, and a journey of 1,000 miles starts with that one step. We must break the cycle of our commitment and habitual patterns of our sick behaviors, because that learned behavior needs to be shifted and changed. And all we can do as clinicians is to empower our patients. And that's the biggest gift we can give them. And you can be the one that changes lives forever. And so if that interests you, come join me in our Facebook group called Functional Yoga Medicine. And we are accepting applications, and get on a call with me to learn more about the program. I will have somebody link to the page where you can get on a call with me to ask me questions about the discovery call regarding the program. Otherwise, you can subscribe to our podcast called Functional Yoga Medicine. We're everywhere, Spotify, Google, we're on iTunes. I would be eternally grateful if you can leave us a positive review, because that really does help with the algorithm to spread the word that healing is an inside job. And again, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you guys all next week. Bye for now.